Hello friends, my name is Adi. Today I am going to present to you a video on how to convert XML to DataFrame. I had a video recording of this on YouTube some time back, but the audio quality was poor and that was, I can say, my first video. In this series I am going to present you everything clear so that you can use in your day-to-day work with your data science projects. So to make it more clear, I am doing this series in two parts. In the part 1, I will walk you through what it is all about, and in part 2, we will have a practical demo session. So let's get started. So in this, what we are going to do is, using pandas, we are going to, in this video, you will learn about one of a useful technique to analyze source data in XML. Many times you get source data from web, and in our case the URL is the user agents org, allagents.xml. This just launch your browser or click on this link that will open the XML data. I recommend you have a quick peek into this data to get an idea of what we are trying to do. We will be using pandas to analyze the XML data. First we will get the data from the web, then use the pandas library, and the environment I will be using is Jupyter Notebook environment. So what is pandas? Pandas is a fast, powerful, flexible and easy to use open source data analysis and manipulation tool built on top of the Python programming language. So in our coding session, first we will be importing certain modules. We'll be using these three modules. Import request, the first line is the request object we'll be using to get data from our web. Then we are using element tree to traverse the XML data we retrieved from the web. Then we will be using the pandas library to analyze the data. So this will be our first step, the imports. In the next step, as you can see, we are defining a variable. We call that as user agent URL, and I just put the URL. Then I get the request. I send a request to get data from that URL request content that I store to my XML data variable. Then to make life easier, we do always create functions. Functions help us to divide and conquer the bigger task we have in practical life. So this function, what it does is it takes the XML data and returns the pandas data frame. See how simple it is. It is about 10 lines of code. So we will be doing this coding in our lab session. Next, we will be testing the data frame To get a data frame from our data, we call the function XML to df. This is a function. Then we get to get how many rows and data we received in pandas data frame. This is a command df dataframe.shape that will return the number of rows and columns in the data frame, and the last line is df.head. That means it will provide a sample data. By default, I think it gives 10 rows of data with all the columns. So that is what we are going to cover in our lab. Let's continue to our lab.